Hey, good afternoon. Curtis here from the Practical Wealth Show. I'm Practical Wealth Advisor. So we're going to try to go live 2 or 3 times a week, maybe daily. We'll see how I feel. But I, uh, you know, some of you know or may not know, I have a podcast called the Practical Wealth Show, and I've been inundated with people, which is good. I've had some really good guests, but I haven't done any solo broadcasts. And if I recorded one, it won't be out till mid-August. So I always, I have a bunch of thoughts during the week. So I figured, okay, well, I'll throw out a few short ones here. So that's my intro. So these are, a lot of times I'll have a lot of client discussions, and you know, I host a show, but I'm a prosperity economic advisor. I actually work with clients, and the theme of what we teach is basically wealth without Wall Street. Okay, and so let me kind of set this up. So there's really two schools of thought, just so you understand the difference between me and people you see on TV or whatever, is that there's two schools of thought when it comes to personal finance. One is what I call the accumulation theory. I'll do a whole show on this, but that's not what this show about. And the accumulation theory is what I call typical financial advice: buy and hold, dollar cost average, get out of debt, rule of 72, building a nest egg. These are all the vocabulary you'll hear: tax-free retirement. And so it's based upon the stock market being um, the foundation of investing. 401k is the foundation of investing, but they don't work like you think they work. Okay. And so what I teach is the velocity method, what I've been learning and teaching. So what I'm doing is I had to kind of unlearn a lot of stuff that I had been taught the first 15 years of my career. I read a little book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. Says, what he's teaching and what I do is different. And after living through 4 crashes, I wanted to start to figure out why things happen. And I had a mentor tell me, I teach infinite banking, and the author of the book, Nelson Nash, said to me, Curtis, if you know what's going on, you'll know what to do. And so I started studying, and we teach our clients to think from a macroeconomic perspective, so you know why things happen and how to position yourself to A, protect yourself, and B, to grow. So we're in the midst of the COVID-19 as I record this. So are you going to be a victim or a victor? And so one of the things that we talk, and so this is coming from, we have a membership called the VIP program, our Money for Life VIP program. But and so we talked about that on the call. And so talking about the velocity method, but I'm going to talk about real briefly the 3 rules. I spent an hour on the call, so, and it's in the membership. But there's 3 rules to investing. And so let me back up and let's talk about what Curtis thinks is an investment. Okay, and it ain't Curtis, because I have no original thoughts. One is that an investment. So this is Ben Grant. So Ben Grant, a lot of people don't know him, but this is Warren Buffett's mentor, if you can see my screen. And so an investment operation is one in which, upon thorough analysis, promises safety of principal and an adequate return. Operations not mean these requirements are speculative. So think about where you put your money. If you put $10,000 in, then safety of principal means what? How much should you at least get back out? $10,000. Do your mutual funds work that way? Does your 401k work that way? I'm not saying not do that. What I want you to do is to think, okay, and stop with letting people tell you what to think, especially with regards to your money, because you worked for it. Don't you think it makes sense to understand how money works? So let's go back to the 3 rules of investment. So investing is not about putting money somewhere. It's about becoming something. Because you can't, the typical financial world teaches you basically, you're not smart enough. You don't have the time, the temperament, or the training to personally manage your own money. So their whole, if you boil all their advice, if you watch the TV commercials, is basically give your money to us. And so I teach the opposite. I think 2 + 2 is 4, and you can't win giving up responsibility for your life. Winners take responsibility. You know, you can't have freedom without responsibility. And so what happens is that, so looking at, if your number one asset is you, then you've got to invest in three things: your mindset, your skill set, what you know how to do that people will pay you for, and your network. How many people know you know how to do that, that they will give you money for creating value for them? Because you shouldn't expect any money unless you create value in the marketplace first. That is a principle that you've got to resolve to. You're not people, oh, I'm entitled. You ain't. So people, between people are in what I call the entitlement mindset, and you're not entitled to anything. Okay. And so, but let's talk about investing before I go off on one of my rants. And the three rules of investing that I want you to consider are: in one, investing what you know, in your expertise. See, so if Curtis were to go out and try to buy a dental practice, that would be a mess, because I don't know how that business works. But if you're, my best friend from high school, he worked with a chiropractor and worked with him for about 9 months and says, I could do this. And so he was able to, with the help of his parents, you know, build his own very successful practice. But they loaned him money, and his parents had enough money to loan him money with a payment plan to start his business. And then from that, he's got a very successful business. And so, but he started a business, right? And so he invested in what he knew. That was he invested. So his expertise, he took a business out of that. Okay. And so what do you know how to do? Okay. What is your unique ability? I mean, what comes easy to you that other people find hard? And two, you invest in what you can control. See, control. Winners want control. Buffett wants control. And so they don't just throw caution to the wind and hope some fund manager is really smart. So what you want control. And the third thing, and then I'm going to end with this, I just want to have it be a short video, is don't chase returns. Okay. Because you can't control rates of return. Rates of return are very elusive. You know, if you want to create maximum wealth, the first thing you have to do is create maximum efficiency. All right. And so efficiency means if you got a bucket and it's got holes in it, there's more opportunity in plugging the holes than there's trying to pick winning investments. So anyway, that's my 7-minute lesson for the day. I hope that was helpful. Have a great day.